Welcome to another Founder Wisdom podcast. We have Ryan Kauth with us today. He's helping family business owners achieve multi-generation harmony. Harmony is an interesting word here. Wealth. He guided over 1,000 entrepreneurs from chaos to profit, and he's been a coach for quite some time now. I see 26 years now. So,
Yeah.
Ryan, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Charles. What am I up to? You talked about kind of the two clientele that I have, but I had a really interesting weekend as let's see, Friday and Saturday, I was watching my nephew compete in Germany at the University World Games in the decathlon. So my family and I got up at 2 a.m. and had a watch party until 2 p.m. both of those days. So that's what I was up to recently.
Nice.
Yeah,
And the last 26 years, like how's
yeah,
been life for you? You're I would say like more in the senior part of your career. Like how did you start it as an entrepreneur and how's it
yeah.
been nowadays?
Great question. I had a few friends who didn't want to do all the administrative headache kind of stuff, starting their businesses, and I said, I've got some time. I'll figure it out. Did that, and then the fourth person paid me to do it, and I've been kind of paid to do that kind of stuff ever since.
Interesting. Because you
Yeah,
started as a microbiologist here and then you went
yeah,
into business banking. Like how did that
right.
happen?
Yeah, so that transition, so about a year into that first position is when I said, great company, job is not for me. And I started looking for other things. And that's when these opportunities came along. And I did a lot of work online for some of those friends. And again, uh, fourth one paid me to do it. I actually ended up coaching for a while, got my MBA, and toward the tail end of my MBA is when I went into business banking for community banks. Yeah.
And you have stayed sort of in the education, higher education realm in the last 15 years. How did
Yeah.
that transition happen?
Yeah. I had a really smart advisor during undergrad who I kept in contact with. And my first kind of teaching job came from him saying, I've got these administrative duties to do, and I need to unload a class. And he said, hey, would you like to teach it? And of course, I said, yes, I'll figure it out later how to actually do it, because that's kind of what I do. And it was great. It was fun. Got a lot of student feedback that said, hey, this was good, but you could improve on this. And so I did that. Um, and maybe a year later, I got another class from a different university and things like that. And I just kind of kept going.
And the coaching stuff,
Yeah.
why have you started that? And is it a profitable kind of business or is it more of a passion? Is it just fun like coaching other founders?
I would say it's both. So, when I look back in the different jobs I had, the ones that I enjoyed most were the ones I'd probably do for free. But when you're coaching, and if you're coaching for free, there's probably not an engaged person, on the other end of that. So that's one of the reasons why I charge for my services from a coaching standpoint. But yeah, I've been coaching over 25 years. Sometimes I've been doing it full time. Sometimes I've been doing it part time, as I have other jobs like teaching full time at a university. But yeah, it's always been profitable.
And what business have you built in the last couple of decades?
So the last couple decades, I mean, I started out building this coaching practice. I also had a lawn care business. That's kind of how I started as a kid. And I started that also in another area where I moved and where I lived. I've had other businesses like early on when there was only Red Bull, I had a competitor energy drink distribution company. Most recently, I've been doing Airbnb co-hosting. So I don't own properties anymore. I used to do that. But I call that my family business. So I've got family members involved in that.
And what do you mean by co-hosting? Like taking care of the actual guests and their requests? Like, tell me a bit more about that one.
Yeah. So I grew up, my grandmother had a friend growing up who would take care of all these vacation properties, right? And once in a while, I would go with him just to see, like, what do you mean taking care of vacation properties? I don't even know what this is. And so as a kid, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of fun. When people aren't in their homes, you get to take care of them, check on them, make sure they're doing okay. Maybe you clean them a little bit, things like that. So what I do is I work with property owners who are not in their homes all the time, but can rent them out as vacation properties for other people. And so, yeah, I do all the listing, guest management, things like that. And again, it's part time, and have a lot of family members involved with that too.
And how is that one scalable? Like, how do you get your co-hosts, and yeah, how do you plan to grow that actual business?
Yeah, if I would want to scale it, there's a number of things I could do. I could buy some software, I could buy a franchise. I've had as many as 6 different properties at a time. Right now, I don't have that many. So when people sell their properties, for example, I may go and try to find another one, or I might be satisfied with just the number that I have. So if I would choose to scale that, that's how I would do that. I've had some opportunity to do that. I've chosen not to. I've chosen to coach instead or teach instead. Um, but yeah, if I've looked into right how to do it, and really you scale it with either using some software or there are vacation property franchises out there I've researched as well.
And you're also a fractional executive, like a
Yeah.
fractional chief of staff. You still do some of that, and what's your go-to-market process to get clients on that one?
Yeah, I just finished one, and I just picked up one that's a few hours a week. That's actually for a former student that I had. Um, so with that one, for example, that's an interim chief business development officer position that I am working with essentially a coaching client, and he needed somebody to do a couple of things. And I said, well, it's beyond my coaching scope, right? But what I can do is while you are concentrating on these particular things in your company to scale it, why don't I take this piece, which is typically your role, you replace me, I help him do that. And then there's another piece in his company that we need to replace as well as he's scaling actually back up after doing really well. He had a partner who kind of left, took some of the business with him, and now he's back. I wouldn't say it's square one, maybe square two, scaling his business back up again.
Interesting. And how do you make sure to stay relevant as a coach? How do you keep on executing and
Yeah.
creating stuff so that you can bring back lessons to your actual clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. Teaching helps me with that. So when I'm teaching, it sharpens me. When students ask me questions I don't know the answer to, I go and find them. But some of it is just reading, keeping up with trends. I like reading, Forbes Inc., Fast Company, those types of resources. But I also like podcasts like yours and listening to different thought leaders and different ideas. Um, Sometimes listening to podcasts where I'm not familiar with a specific entrepreneur or a process that they went to, or just really hearing their stories. A lot of my clients are actually teaching me things about their business as I'm coaching them. And so sometimes just listening and learning from your clients can be helpful for my other clients.
And your own podcast, what was your thesis behind it? Is it still active? What was the goal?
Yeah, I'm working. Season 1 is completed. We did 20 episodes. I'm working on season 2 right now. I don't have a specific launch date for that, but the Fractional Executive podcast was actually the thesis for that was to help small business owners hire fractional executives as a solution to some of the challenges that they are going through. So I would have different guests on that have done different fractional work, but had a specific expertise. Like I had on a gentleman who has grown nonprofits. I had on someone who helps make your operations more efficient. And so the audience was kind of the coaching client audience that I have, but it was also there to encourage them that perhaps hiring a fractional executive is a good idea for your company's growth.
Right. So, what are your top goals for this year? What do you want to achieve?
My want to achieve, first of all, top goals would be to get more consistency in my coaching clients. So there's sometimes seasonality in that, where there are different times of the year where businesses are not doing as well. So as you know, like in retail, the first 3 quarters are not awesome. And so those are typically when I will get calls from coaching clients in the retail area, and there's seasonality with every kind of industry. So that would be goal number one. Goal number two is really to grow my thought leadership. And that certainly does not mean I know everything, but it does mean that I am a lot more willing to share some of the things that I work with my coaching clients on.
Interesting. What are you reading nowadays? What are your books that catches your attention? Thought leaders that you're taking notes on?
Yeah, most of my thought leadership that I'm following right now are listening to a few podcasts like your own. I have not read a book probably in about 3, 4 months, which is unusual for me. Usually I'm like reading a book a month, something like that, maybe more than that. But what I decided to do in the beginning of summer was I'm not going to read any books this summer. I'm going to find some more podcasts and listen to more entrepreneurs' stories about how they started, what obstacles they overcame, and things like that.
Very interesting. Well, Ryan, thanks for showing up today. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm really active on LinkedIn. That's the best place to reach me. So I would say follow me on LinkedIn, message me there, connect with me there. Thanks, Charles.
It was Ryan and